What do you think abundance is all about?
Infinite energy.
Infinite energy,
Unlimited.
unlimited,
Plenty of everything.
plenty, boundless. This is first talk in the series or second talk?
It's about the fourth of it.
Fourth of it, okay. So then you must be knowing abundant. You must have abundant information about abundance. So tell me, what is abundance? So far, so far all these sessions, from all these sessions, what did you understand? Abundance is all about infinite. Of what?
Everything in nature is in abundance, which you should try to get it.
Everything in nature is abundant. We should try to get it. So I think from practically you learned everything about abundance. Now I think I'm here to listen from you. What is abundance all about? Okay. So abundance is having something in plenty, infinite, as somebody said, inexhaustible. However, how much you draw, whatever you draw, still it is there. Who doesn't want abundance in life? Literally, nature, everything is abundance. Okay, but do you have the abundance? Is the question. Okay. Everything is fine. Nature has so much abundance, the energy, the sunlight, the water, the space, everything is infinite in nature. But what about me? What about me as an individual? Do I have abundance?
Do I have the capacity to get it?
Do I have the capacity to get that abundance? Okay. So this is the question we let us today. Now, when we say abundance, most of the people, first thing comes into picture is the money, the finances, the richness. Is abundance all about richness? What is this abundance about? Having in abundance for myself means what? May I ask you, having abundance in your life means what for you? Everything in it is abundant, but for you, what does it mean? May I have an answer, please?
Happiness.
Happiness in abundance. Okay.
Peace of mind in that.
Peace of mind in abundance.
Mental and physical needs.
Mental and physical needs in abundance.
Knowledge.
Health in abundance.
Knowledge.
Knowledge in abundance.
Everything.
Everything in abundance. Okay. Everything in abundance.
But you can't give more than 100.
Sorry?
But you can't give more than 100 years.
Possibly yes.
There are people.
Possibly yes.
There are.
Possibly yes. Couple of 100 years. Possibly. Until you get bored of life.
That is much more than enough.
Okay. So the question is, abundance means health for somebody. Abundance means money for somebody. Abundance means youth for somebody.
Everything for me.
Everything for you. Abundance covers all aspects of life. Do we have it now, or do we want it now?
To some extent we are having it, we need more.
To some extent, we have it, but I need more. How many people subscribe to that view?
All of us.
All of us. So, abundance means I have some extent, whatever you call health, wealth, happiness, but I need more of it. That is what definition of, that's what is the need, or that's what we are saying here. So, which means I have to some extent, okay, but I am not satisfied with what I have. I need more of it. So this is the conclusion. Then let us understand the loss of abundance, and understand where and see where we stand. The principle of life is whatever you desire, whatever you seek, the universe will provide that. If you are seeking abundance, universe will provide that. There is no limit to in the universe what you can get. This is beautifully told in the story of Sri Krishna and Kuchela. Kuchela, you have heard of this person. Kuchela was a friend of Krishna, Sri Krishna. Krishna is considered as the divine incarnation. Kuchela goes to Krishna. Kuchela's wife pushes him to go and get some money, wealth. We are in poverty. Our friend is living in abundance, so get something from him. So Kuchela, when he goes to Krishna, he doesn't have anything. He has some puffed rice. Right? He has packed puffed rice. And Sri Krishna started partaking that. So, first he eats one fistful, the second fistful, and third fistful his wife stops him. Krishna's wife stops him. Enough. So for the two fistful of rice what Krishna eats, Kuchela gets large amount of wealth. The big palatial house, okay, lot of workers, whatever his wife desires, he gets it. And here Sri Krishna's wife says, if you are given third one, probably we would also become servant of that person. You are so generous. you have given so much to Kuchela for two puffed rice, two fishful of puffed rice. Probably third fishful of rice, you will also become going servant in this house. So I shall for the third one. The God is not a miser. Okay? He is a storehouse of infinite energy. He is a storehouse of infinite capability, infinite capacity. He will give what you seek. But are you seeking? The question is, are you seeking and what are you seeking? That should be understood. Anything in the universe will manifest for you. Because ability of the universe is manifestation. Don't you see? Universe has manifested this infinite stars, infinite number of stars, planets and galaxies effortlessly. There's no effort involved in that. The space, the air, the earth, water, fire, the five elements, the mountains, valleys, the plantations, the plants, animals, living beings are a manifestation of the universe. It's an effortless manifestation. So how much effort is required for the universe to give something what you seek? There's no effort involved and there's no time involved in manifesting what you seek. But still we are living in something missing in your life. We are living the attitude and understanding that something is missing in our life. We need something more. Why is that so? Everything in the universe is nothing but consciousness. Sarvam Khalida Brahma. Everything is consciousness only. All that you see, all that you feel, all that you experience is nothing but consciousness. I am seeing this building, I am seeing this place, I am seeing the stars, I am seeing the planets, I am seeing living beings and non-living beings. Everything is an appearance in consciousness. Everything is nothing but appearance in consciousness. So whatever you see is consciousness only. The universe is nothing but a play of consciousness and energy. Energy energy is nothing but consciousness in motion. Energy is not different from consciousness. So all the creation, what you see, is nothing but energy, which is again a movement in consciousness. Ultimately, everything is reduced to consciousness. So everything being consciousness, our experience also gets reduced to consciousness. When I see you, when I see this object, am I seeing the object, or am I having the object consciousness of it? I am having object consciousness, I am not seeing the object. Everything is an experience or manifestation in the consciousness. So that being so, what I am is a state of consciousness. A rich man is in a state of rich man consciousness. A poor man is in a state of poor man consciousness. So if you understand this, you will follow whatever I am going to say subsequently. Everything is consciousness. A rich man is in a state of rich man consciousness. A poor man is in a state of poor man consciousness. A person who is suffering from mental disease is having that particular consciousness. A person having good health is having health consciousness. So whatever you have in life, whatever you experience in life, is a state of your consciousness. Somebody is enlightened, he is in a state of enlightened consciousness. All that what you experience in life is a state of consciousness. Understand? So, once you understand this, you will understand how to get abundance. If you want money, you have to have a rich man consciousness. Okay. Now let me elaborate what is rich man consciousness is. You should be able to feel and experience life as a rich man does. Okay. Now, is it possible for you? Please understand, I am not saying live life like a rich man. Experience life like a rich man. To tell the difference, there is one billionaire here, whom all of you know. I won't tell the name. One of multi-billionaires. How does he live his life? He has huge apartment complexes in all continents of the world. Okay, and he has what we call as mansions in the most beautiful places on hilltop. And when he is in Bangalore, he has only 8 Mercedes-Benz cars. Okay. And when he steps out of the house, he doesn't like, his house is air conditioned. He doesn't like to go from an air conditioned place to a non-air conditioned environment. So all the 8 cars are air conditioned. And they are kept running 24 hours a day, so that he can, anytime he steps in from air conditioned environment, he gets to the air conditioned environment. Okay? And you have to imagine, the Mercedes-Benz cars are petrol guzzlers. Right? A Mercedes-Benz car only runs a few kilometers, 6 to 7 kilometers per liter of petrol, whereas normal cars run around 18-20. So these cars are kept running 24 hours a day with 8 drivers, because there are 8 different colors. They don't know which car you choose and buy. So you have to So now when you say rich man consciousness, I'm definitely not suggesting that you buy at least one Mercedes-Benz car and keep it running. I'm not saying that, okay, make loan or make borrow or steal and buy a mansion in Switzerland. I'm not saying that. Rich man consciousness is how he is able to make that money. That consciousness is what you have to have, not what he does. He does something after he acquires money, but if you start doing that thinking that Prabhuji has told about rich man consciousness, so let me go and buy at least if not Mercedes-Benz car or is it on BMW or whatever that. It can't work that way. What is the way his consciousness works? If you understand that, then the richness will come in your life. The consciousness of rich man, if you are able to put in your life, bring in your life, then richness will come in your life. Now when you say, I have everything what I want, but I need more, so what consciousness you have? What is the basic consciousness is there?
Getting more money.
There is a lacuna consciousness. I have something missing in my life consciousness there. So you are not operating from the point of view of abundant consciousness. You are operating in a point of view of I have something, I am not satisfied, I need more of it, which means actually you are operating from the point of view of need or lacuna or scarcity consciousness. From that scarcity consciousness, you have to move into abundant consciousness. The moment you start operating from that point of view, your life will be filled with what you know. The moment you say want, what is the want? What's the meaning of want?
I think it is the
I need. Okay. So you have to move from that want and need consciousness to have consciousness. So the moment your shift happens from that perspective, those things which you understand and have consciously will be a part of your life. So the shift has to happen from need or want to abundance consciousness. Abundance will not come to your life because you need abundance. Abundance will come to your life because of abundant consciousness. So this is the shift. Because the universe is a simple being. Universe, God is a very simple being, not as complicated as any of us here. He doesn't think in a very complicated manner. Okay? He, or when I say he, God as a consciousness, its logic is very, very simple and straightforward. Okay? Not complicated logics. I don't want unhappiness. So God will understand unhappiness and say, gives unhappiness in abundance to me. I don't want bad relationship. So become bad relationship. Okay. So whatever relationship you have, become bad. The negative logic, okay, it doesn't work with the universe. Because the negative logic doesn't exist in existence. God doesn't know what cannot exist. In the logic of divine, the logic of infinity, there is no understanding of something not possible. When you are thinking or prayer or seeking is with the negative logic, the negative part, what you are speaking, becomes manifest. When you say, I need something, the need is the field, the more and more need will come in your life. So, a shift has to happen from the need to abundance. Unless that shift happens, that fulfillment doesn't happen. Now, how can you feel shall make that shift? I took the example of rich man consciousness. Let us understand how a rich man's consciousness works. How does rich man work? Rich man's mind works. He starts with the belief that he can achieve something in life. An ordinary petrol bunk employee can think that he can build a big business empire. Okay? So, a rich man's consciousness, first level is a belief that anything is possible. A deep-rooted belief that something is possible. There's no limit to what is possible. That limitation has to go. Is this abundance consciousness? There is a limit to what I can achieve. That belief has to drop. First step of abundance consciousness. Right? We are putting a boundary for ourselves, saying that something is possible, something is not possible. Sorry.
That does it mean that, of course there is a meditation and prayer. Does it mean that for our certain needs or somebody's health and all that, we should not pray?
No. We should. Why we should pray?
But the lacuna, that negative things
No, how to
you
pray?
are telling.
No, how to pray is a different. Should we not pray? We should pray. But how to pray is what we are speaking of. The language of and attitude of prayer has to be, what is that? It is not that we should not pray, is not the discussion. What is our inner feeling and what should be the attitude and the content of prayer is what we are thinking. Understand? So, first thing is, there is something, anything which we can, human potential can achieve, there is no limit, that understanding is there. Second thing, what a businessman thinks, if I put 100 rupees, how do I get 100, 200 rupees back? A return. Right? Okay. If I spend 100 rupees, how do I get a return of 200 rupees? This is how the rich man's consciousness works, right? The third thing is, if I spend 100 rupees, okay, it can be expense or it can be investment. Now, if it is investment, okay, if it is expense, it's gone, right? Whatever I spend in petrol or car vehicle is gone. Everything what he does, he tries to do as an investment so that that money 100 rupees grows. So now, if that 100 rupees has to grow, the rich man consciousness always says, if I have to make 100 rupees to 200 rupees, I have to help somebody to make that amount of difference. If I have to sell some goods to your customer, as a customer, the customer has to see some value in that. Yeah, unless I make a benefit to you, nobody will buy whatever I have. So what thinking comes? What can I give comes before what can I get. This is how a rich man consciousness works. How I can give more so that I can get more. This is how rich man consciousness operates. Now if we start thinking that I have to get more without how I can give more, then we are working on a poor man consciousness. Understand? The logic has to be inverted. How I can give back more so that I can get back more is the logic behind a rich man consciousness. Of course, there are people who are criminals who will rob the bank or whatever is that. There's a different consciousness. There's a consciousness for going into jail. So I am not speaking of consciousness for going to jail. I am speaking of consciousness, business consciousness, businessman consciousness, rich man consciousness. So always, if I am able to think what I can give, and from that how much I can get, you can give more and get more, then you have shifted your perspective from a poverty consciousness to a rich man consciousness. Do you understand the difference? Otherwise, I say I need more money, okay, without thinking what I am giving, then the need part is stressed. Okay, so when you think of how I can give something to the society, to the world, how I can give more, then whatever required support required for that will come to you gradually, one by one. So shift from a poverty consciousness to a rich man consciousness has to happen. This is true for all aspects of our life. Whether it's health, wealth, or relationship. Look at your life. Are you thinking of what is not happening in your life? Or are you looking at what is possible in your life? So from a possibility of negative to a possibility of positive, the shift has to happen. The universe responds to your deep-rooted thought process. So let us understand what is the importance of prayer in this context. Somebody is not well. Okay. Then when I pray for his good health, right, deep-rooted feeling is the universe will be able to bring health to that person. What is our deep-rooted feeling in that? Our feeling here is giving something to the person. It's not a selfishness. Okay. So it's again giving through the source of, from the source. It's not a selfish, not a need consciousness, but again a consciousness of abundance. It's not for I need something. Okay. There's a seeking for somebody's welfare, not for individual. It's not born out of a need consciousness, but born out of a compassion or love. The compassion and love are the qualities of the inner self. Okay. So you need to be clear what consciousness you are operating from, and the universe responds to that consciousness.
Yes. Somebody is not well. I am asking for consciousness that is giving or getting him blessed. But if I am asking for my own good health, that is a negative.
No, it is not negative.
Only, we have to, I can't ask anything for myself.
Correct. You can ask something for yourself. Give me good health.
Because I can't ask anybody other than God.
That's what I'm saying. There the seeking, the wording is, what is the deep-rooted thought process what we have? This we have to see. That's the question. Deep-rooted thought process, I don't want bad health versus give me good health. They are different thought processes. Alright? So universe responds, what is your innermost thought process, not your words.
Positive words.
Positive, not only words, the feelings, innermost feelings. The universe responds to the deepest feelings of what it has. So the question is, when you do the prayer, what is the innermost feeling? I don't want this suffering versus grant me good health. So the negative words or negative thought process, the universe doesn't understand in that sense. So that's why I'll show you a picture and then we'll get into the detail. Basically, universe responds to deep-rooted thought process and ultimately it responds to consciousness. Is that clear? So when we speak of abundance, we are speaking to two types of abundance. One is the material and other is psychological or spiritual. The material abundance and psychological or spiritual abundance. I am not distinguishing between psychological and spiritual in some sense. What is material abundance? Sorry.
How to undo the consciousness, bad consciousness.
I'll come to that, correct? We'll discuss that. We'll keep the question and come back to that. So, there are two types of abundance we speak of. One is material and other is spiritual. What is spiritual abundance? Please tell me. What is the spiritual abundance?
Not going to temples regularly.
There is nothing to spirituality. Temple is not about spirituality. That's about religion.
And the conscious, being conscious about it.
Yeah.
Divinity.
The temple and religion we are not speaking of because there's a religious consciousness. Okay. We are not speaking of religious consciousness. We are speaking of spiritual consciousness, which is different. You understand? Spiritual consciousness is being aware of your inner nature. It has nothing to do with whether you go to the temple or follow certain religion. The spirituality is common for all religions. Okay. So, what is abundance from a spiritual viewpoint of view?
Is
Bliss, peace, love, happiness, wisdom, okay, compassion. These are nothing but the deep spiritual qualities in abundance. Okay. Then the outer abundance is what? The money which you have, the bank balance which you have, the job which you have, the position what you have, right? Okay. The wealth which you have, material wealth. The outer abundance also, the type of relationship which you have, the quality of relationship which you have, whether it's a spouse or friend or your circle. What type of relationship you have and what quality of relationship you have. That's also outer abundance. Right? Relationships, money, and what about health? Having a good health, free from diseases, being able to lead a good quality of life till will we die. The health is another aspect of abundance. Now, health I am not including the spiritual as abundance because spirit has already abundance. Health is related to the body. Okay, health, relationship, money. Money includes the power and position, everything. The outer wealth and inner wealth, are they related or they are separate? Are they connected or are they different? How inner wealth and outer wealth are related? Are they related at all? They are. They are. You cannot have inner poverty and outer wealth. Then something in your life suffers. It cannot be all around growth. Inner wealth and outer wealth, inner abundance and outer wealth abundance, they go together. There is actually a understanding in many of our religious life, I would not say spiritual life, that a person who is spiritual has to live in poverty. Okay? So, the more the person lives in poverty, he is considered as more spiritual or more religious. Abnegation, what I say. Actually, that is a wrong understanding of principle of life. A deeply or highly spiritual person who has attained inner abundance doesn't care for outer wealth, doesn't need the outer wealth. It is not true other way. If I don't have outer wealth, inner wealth will increase. It is actually flows from inward to outward. Okay? So a person who is full of bliss and peace and happiness may say, I don't need this wealth, outer wealth. Okay, but not having the outer wealth doesn't lead to inner wealth because inner wealth is primary, the outer wealth is secondary. For most of us, we need both the wealths, inner and outer. And to develop this inner and outer wealth, you need to have that particular consciousness. Okay. To develop the inner wealth, whose quality is peace, love, happiness, consciousness, or wisdom. What consciousness should you develop? Please tell me. What should be your consciousness to develop the inner wealth? Sorry?
Detachment, positive.
You have to develop the spirit consciousness, not the body consciousness. Whatever consciousness you have, that particular aspect will benefit your life.
Feed the positive thoughts to the mind.
Yeah, when you give the positive thoughts to the mind, so that particular aspect manifests in your life. Now, let us say you have to have a consciousness. As I said earlier, that everything which is actually is a consciousness, and consciousness manifests as thoughts. So, if you have to manifest some aspect in your life, that aspect of consciousness you have to bring in your life, and thoughts will be related to that. In the sense.
The thoughts, we have to give it to our consciousness, and the consciousness reciprocates that.
Correct. Thoughts is from the mind, the consciousness reciprocates that. So you have to develop that inner consciousness, that inner state of mind, where you are developing the state of consciousness. Right? Mind also starts, ultimately mind which takes the form of consciousness, a rich man consciousness, poor man consciousness. Ultimately it is the mind which manifests that. So, if you have to manifest the spirit consciousness, constantly you should be aware that I am not a body, I am not a mind, I am not intellect, I am pure consciousness. Right? So you have to stress that aspect, what you have to manage. So what you have to say, what you have to think and feel. ನಾನು ನಾನೆಂಬುದು ನಾನಲ್ಲ ಈ ದೇಹ ಮನಬುದ್ಧಿ ನಾನಲ್ಲ ಸಚಿದಾನಂದಾತ್ಮ ಶಿವನಾನು ನಾನೇ ಶಿವೋಹಂ ಶಿವೋಹಂ. As you start developing, I am pure consciousness. I am not a body, mind, or intellect. That aspect of spirit manifests in your life. Not because I seek enlightenment, but because I am already consciousness. I have to remember what I am, not what I seek. So if you keep on seeking, I am a seeker, the seeking will manifest in your life, not enlightenment. You understand? What the deepest inner urge or feeling, that will manifest. So it is important that you correct at the innermost urge level. Understand that you are already conscious the spirit and become aware of that rather than seeking to become something else. So the spiritual quality of peace, love, compassion and in your life. What is required for health consciousness in your life? Sorry? Health consciousness is, it's related to food, it is related to exercise, it is related to disciplined life. So the consciousness for a healthy living, what is required? I have to feel it, I have to experience it, and I have to live it. What manifests in your life is a result of what you are, not what you want. Okay? And let us say there is some disease already has set in. A different type of diseases because it has already manifested. So how do you get out of that? Is it possible? If your lifestyle is healthy, health will manifest in you. What you are will manifest in life. If already disease is setting, how do you correct that? As he pointed out, through prayers.
Taking medicines and taking medical help.
That anyway is required, right? Anyway required. And the prayer for healing. The feeling that I don't want this disease, I am suffering, that has to disappear. Rather, the prayer should be for healing, not running away from something. Always the universe responds to a positive state of being, not a negative state of being. The focus will be on what you feel deep inside. Deep inside, I am suffering, I don't want this disease. Oh God, please help me. So what is predominant thought, predominant feeling is, I don't want something. The universe doesn't understand that. It may continue what. So let us to recap. Abundance is of two types, outer and inner. This inner abundance is primary to us because that's actually our well-being. A person who is peaceful in any circumstance, he'll be able to come out of the difficulties. A person may be in the war field, but still he is peaceful inside. Okay, he is able to find a way. But if he has also distressed or disturbed inside, which happens normally in the war situation, the troubles are compounded. First, seek the inner wealth by understanding what you are. As you become aware of your own nature as the spirit, as Atma, the inner qualities will manifest. So distinguish between what you are and what you have. You have a body, you have a mind, you have an intellect. And you have family, you have relationships, you have the money. What you have is a direct manifestation of what you think you are. Have deep-rooted feeling, develop a deep-rooted consciousness of what you have manifested in your life. So let me show a picture and then we'll discuss around that.
Fix the wire.
What we are, so okay, in reality we are the spirit, Atma, the consciousness, Chaitanya. And what we have is a mind. Okay, what we are and what we have to understand. And when I say mind, I'm not separating mind from the body. Mind has past and future, past memories and future hopes or fears. The body is the present state of the mind. Okay. So when I say mind, it includes the body and the mind. So what you call as your conscious mind, I want something, I am thinking of this, I need this. that is only 5% of your mind. And deep-rooted thought process, which has gone deep inside, which is not available to the conscious mind, is called subconscious mind. It's about 90 to 95%. So when you say, I need something, who says so? Conscious mind. I want something, the conscious mind says. But what is deep inside your feeling, which is buried feeling, that is what manifests. So are you aligned, conscious mind, subconscious mind, anything what you desire, that will manifest in your life. So there is a conscious mind. Conscious mind is for interacting with the world. The subconscious mind is deep-rooted feelings, memories, whatever you have, experiences. And there's a control over the brain. Now when we speak of the mind, there is conscious mind, which is a very small fraction of 5% of the mind, which is actually a larger part of the mind is subconscious mind, which is 95%. And a collective consciousness, which is called superconscious mind. We live in this environment. So when you send a prayer, the prayer is really going to the superconscious mind. But what you desire through your conscious mind and what really goes depends on this layer of 95%. The 5% is sending a prayer. It is gets rooted through the 95%. Totally, it's 100%. Then what you desire and what is sent out as a prayer, are they one and the same? So what is the deep-rooted feeling is coming from the subconscious mind, and conscious mind is seeking something, which we do normally, which we do, and that becomes the trigger. That becomes the input. There is a prayer or seeking becomes the input. And as I told you, universe responds not to your thought process, because thought process is conscious thought process, but your deep-rooted feelings. That is the connection. And that's what manifests in your life. So what happens is this, through the superconscious mind, all living beings are connected in one way or another way. All are connected. All are living in this environment. So when you have a clarity, a deep-rooted clarity of thought, and that is supported by the subconscious feelings, then you are integrated person, 100%. With that 100%, whatever prayers are there, or whatever desires are there, that will be manifest. So this is the way abundance manifests in your life. And it doesn't take time. It doesn't take time. Because the universe doesn't understand the concept of time. Time is the concept. Time is a time. We live in the time domain. The superconscious mind lives in the domain of timelessness. So from our perspective, it may happen some over a period of time. But whatever you send as a prayer, whatever your deep-rooted feelings are, that starts manifesting to the universal mind. So the question now is, how can I correct what is there in deep-rooted subconscious mind? The whole process has to start with the conscious mind only. It can't start anywhere else. Okay. So conscious mind, you should have a clarity of what is desired to be manifested in your life. Is it relationship? Is it money? Or is it wealth or health? The clarity should be there. And as I told you earlier, if you have something to be manifested in life, you need to understand what can I give back to the universe. The logic has to be satisfied. I want to receive something in my life. What is that I can give in return to the existence? Something to happen in my life, I need to give back. Okay? Because the energy flows in a circuit actually. Very ordinary electric energy itself requires two wires. It flows in a closed circuit. When you give something to the universe or existence, there is a sharing of energy between you and the universe. The circuit will get closed by universe sharing back. What you give will come back to you. What you feel will become the seed you are planting in the universal consciousness. Your seed you are putting in that universal consciousness. That will manifest. The feeling has to be clear. The feeling has to be positive. The thought process, conscious thought process should be always what I can give in return for what I want to manifest in life. The purpose has to be clear. What you want to manifest in your mind has to be very clear. Then visualize that as if it is happening now. Okay. The moment you start visualizing as if it is happening now, the subconscious mind will start throwing up challenges, doubts. How can it happen? Why will it happen? This will not happen. Okay. Those are things already gone there. The doubts will start arising. You understand? This is like in Puranic story, Mahabharata story. Karna was the warrior. He had one charioteer, Shalya, was one of the expert charioteers, as competent as Sri Krishna. When Karna does anything, Shalya will keep on saying, how the hell you can hit that arrow? It's not the right arrow, he'll keep on complaining. So Karna loses his confidence. The conscious mind, when it starts getting clarity of picture, the subconscious mind starts throwing out. Like, how can you do that? It's possible. How can you? What do you think you are? Huh? Is it possible for you? All those doubts will start surfacing. And please don't be afraid of these doubts, because this is what you have pumped into subconscious earlier. The conscious mind has allowed that to go into subconscious mind earlier because of unconscious belief, not because of any other reason. Because of your unaware believing, something has filtered and gone deep into subconscious. So that is coming back. So, through a right thinking process, clarity of thought, we should tell subconscious mind, look, this is the way it's possible. You have to sort out the logic between the conscious mind and subconscious mind. Otherwise, you will be split mind. And in that process, when you have a clarity of vision, and you visualize clearly what has to manifest in your life as if it's happening now, not tomorrow, that will manifest in your life. That is guaranteed. Is way abundance manifests in your life? Is it clear? Any questions are there? Somebody had a question, right? Okay.
How to undo the bad?
That's what I'm saying. So don't worry about undoing the bad. Okay? It's like this. Don't worry about it. That's what I'm saying. I'll tell you. Now let me ask the question. There is a glass of water. One drop of ink is put into the water. Okay? Understand? So now I'll ask you a question. How do you remove that one? The glass, the water has become now bluish because of drop of ink. How do you make it pure water? Recycle. How do you make the glass of water when the ink blot has gone? Make it pure. Add more water. You keep on adding fresh water. This will get diluted. Okay, no matter how hard you think, how do I remove the ink? It won't go. It's already not with that. So don't worry about the negative thing which has happened. Start thinking about the positive thoughts, the fresh thoughts. So fresh and so positive that this will become diluted. Okay? The more you start seeing, how do I remove the negative thought, it gets strengthened. Are you clear? Don't worry about removing that negative thought. Start a fresh thought, pure and positive, so overpowering, so clear that this will become diluted. Sorry? It will dilute to the point of nil. It dilutes to the part of nil. Okay. So please understand, everything in the universe is abundance. In abundance. You can also have abundance in your life, provided you know how to use that abundance, how to share that abundance. If you want to become a multi-billionaire, at least you have to make a couple of millionaires out of your life. Okay? So you have to give back. You have to have good health. You need to give back in terms of exercise, in terms of good health habits. You need to do something about it. Okay? Everything in the universe is a consciousness. If you are having some experience in your life, because you are in the state of that consciousness. If you don't like it, come out of the state of consciousness, shift to a different state of consciousness, which is more positive. Live in that state of consciousness. Okay? Then things will happen in your life. The key to this is aligning your conscious mind and subconscious mind. Being clear, clarity of purpose, clarity of visualization, and subconscious mind not refusing, scuttling it. Then how do we, this is the alignment between the subconscious and conscious mind. How do we align with the superconscious mind? Please tell me. To align with the superconscious mind, you have to think what I am giving back to the totality. Understand? What I want, I am clear. But what I am giving back to the totality is aligned with superconscious mind. So once these things happen, abundance will manifest in your life. Be it relationship, money, health, or inner peace and happiness and charity.
So actually, what I am giving back to the something that I am not able.
No. So for good health, let's take the case of good health. Money you understand, right? Money I understand. So for money, I have to make I have to run a business, I have to how to make money. But then let's say for good health, right? Am I following the good healthy habits? Good habits? Am I doing adequate exercise? Am I taking the right medicine to bring that effect in the body performance? So your part of the effort is what I am speaking of as giving. Okay. Sometimes it involves sometimes the body performance, but you need to do something and universe will respond with something. They are together. Individual effort and universal grace, they go together.
Suppose there is a point where we have an opportunity to receive something. Say, for example, it can be money or appreciation or anything. First response is Sankocha, what consciousness is that?
See, most of us, okay,
especially appreciation.
Yeah, most of us, when somebody appreciates you, you look good. Okay? Or you are doing a great job. We have modesty, it's okay. Like that we try to deny.
Sometimes refuse.
Sometimes refuse. I'll say, what is that? So you are telling the energy that this part of energy is not required for me. You are sending out a signal. I don't need this. Okay? So now that energy tap will come down. It will trickle down. You just accept it basically. Just say thank you. Don't be bloated. Don't have bloated ego. Don't deny it. Just say thank you very much.
By denying it, you will be hurting the other person.
You will be hurting the other person. In the process, that energy flow will stop. Right? Just accept gracefully. That's why it's always said that everything happening in your life is prasadam of Bhagavan, the God's grace. Some praise comes, don't deny it. Say it's God's grace. Some hurt comes, then also you say God's grace. Don't think that the hurt will increase. There's a grace in the grace of God in the hurt. How is it then? Why did the hurt come? There is some learning for you. When you understand that learning, the grace manifests in your life. If you focus on the hurt will increase actually. This person has hurt me, this person has hurt me, the hurt will increase in your life. But the hurt is also grace from the God. What did you learn from the hurt? Your awareness has to increase because you have hurt in your life. Then the cause of that hurt will be removed in your life. Instead of what you focus, keep on focusing. Oh, that person hurt me, this person hurt me. Arre Baba, what did you learn from the hurt? The hurt has come as a gift from the God, universe, for you to teach, learn something. Did you learn it? That is accepting the hurt gracefully. Not that somebody beats you, oh, okay. No. Okay, it's not I'm not speaking of something becoming weak. I'm saying, okay, this hurt. It's a gift from God, grace. So let me understand what is the lesson I have to learn. Put the lesson in my life and go ahead. Then we will go.
You said we are in the time domain.
Yeah.
Whereas superconscious mind
Is beyond
timeless.
timeless.
Can you explain how?
See, when we are in the three-dimensional plane, in space, right? What are the dimensions? The time and three axes of space. Space and time. So when I have to move from here to there, this is space involved, this is time involved. Okay? Now, not because of science, not because of spirituality or something. Let us say I go in a rocket. As for Einstein, the time slows down. Okay? So now, the same amount of, by the time the person who goes in a rocket and comes back, here you become old and your grandchildren also married. But that person will still young. His time is different domain. Right? The time, passage of time is different for different levels of being, depending on the speed with which they travel. It's as per the science. Now, somebody who is infinite, there's no concept of time at all. Everything is happening now. Okay. For example, just to give an illustration, you are sitting on top of a mountain, and somebody biker is coming very fast. He is driving very fast, and you see there's a ditch in front, but this biker can't see the ditch in front. Okay, so the person who is sitting there in the higher plane is able to see this person is going to fall. Right? If possible, he can communicate and tell you, okay, don't go that fast, you'll fall, because he is able to see a bigger picture. Because we have the domain of time, he can only see linear picture. Somebody who is in a higher plane can see the bigger picture and help you if required. That helping is called grace. Or he can see, he may not be able to help, but he can see what's happening to you as an individual because you're the time domain. The time is a relative concept. Depending on which domain you are, the time passage is very different. The space also, space and time are very relative. Depending on which level of consciousness you are, the passage of time and space are very different. The superconscious mind or universal mind is able to observe the events in time but not itself affected by the time. Any questions? Thank you very much. So, hope I have spoken about the abundance consciousness. Okay, I have added a little bit of abundance what you had asked already. Thank you very much.